Hey, welcome to Web3 Weekly with your host, Blockstar Technology.
Let's go.
All right. Okay. Welcome to all the people from all the social media platforms. I think we have about 7 platforms that we are going live with. So today is the episode 30, episode 30. So this is the 30th week that we are hosting our podcast. So well done, team. So today joining me is Craig, Charlie, and Maureen. So today, what are we talking about, Craig?
Well, our next innovation and pitch night is coming up next Tuesday.
Yep.
So we thought it would be maybe wise to explain to people what that's about in case you've got any other founders out there. Even if you're not interested in pitching right now, to come along and get that experience.
Yep.
You might not even know what Web3 is, have anything to do with Web3, and want to come along and see if it could help with your idea or even just find out what it is.
Awesome. What about you, Charlie? You want to speak to that?
Pretty much what Craig said. You sort of summed it up. It's us talking about our previous pitch night, innovation night that we hosted 2 months ago now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
2 months ago now, and our upcoming one. So yeah, Maureen.
So the one we held in January was actually a really great success. We got so much positive feedback that we did decide to hold another one because a lot of people wanted another opportunity to attend or another opportunity to pitch. And basically on the night, pitches are provided by 3 minutes and they're capped to 10 slides per pitch. And it's just a really great opportunity to watch how people present their ideas. And so there's so many great ideas in the Web3 blockchain space. Even if you don't have one, it's just a great way to get you thinking about how you can use Web3 in all types of industries. So definitely come down and watch and, meet some like-minded people. It's a great night and we have food.
Yes, we do.
Food always works, right?
Yeah.
All right. So let's do a recap from our last innovation night.
Yep.
So what we have done is we started the year with the innovation night, which is called a pitch night, and then we went to our standard weekly monthly meetup, and then we had this pitch night here today. So we are pretty much, if we start catching up from recap from last pitch night, we had 4 pitches on the night,
Yes.
right? And these are like 4 varying pitches, and not in the same ecosystem. They're very different from very diverse pitches. So in that, I would say this, like, the turnout was awesome as well. So let's talk about the turnout. There's some really cool, because it shows that there's a lot of people who are hungry in Gold Coast, not for pizza, but to really hear, right?
Yeah.
The innovation space, like in the Web3 space, right? And it's something new. No one has done it somewhat people have done it, but not in the Web3 space, where the health and in those areas I see those pitches being done. So we started doing the Web3 space, and it was a cool event, and it was really good to hear from the founders and the inventors as well in the Web3 space, and I can't wait for this one. So what was your take on it?
I find it one of the things that I'm most interested in is the use cases that people come up with for things. A little bit off topic, but I think the laser was 1930s, 1940s.
Yes.
That was theorized. At the time, very little use. Some uses came about for it. Everybody was immediately thinking Star Wars and guns and things of that nature. But used all the way from obviously CDs, DVDs, things like that, to laser scalpels. It's used for communication. So I think what excites me about it is the unlimited use cases that are out there for the technology, and to see what other interesting and innovative ideas that people have come up with.
Oh, that's cool. What do you guys think? Just before we go further, I just want to say, we don't have aircon today in this room, so
feeling the heat, aren't we?
We already started, feeling a little bit, the warmth, and yeah, let's keep going. And if anyone pass out, hold on to Charlie.
It'll be all right.
Well, it's my pass.
All right, yeah. So we had a charity
Yes.
being pitched on the night. So if we talk about sort of like the types of, so we had charity, we had another one like a event activation, we had in the construction space.
Yeah.
And then we had something in the trade space, like trading. So all these use cases were really cool. They were presented well as well. And as much as it's looking for investment, I'm going to pass this one to you, Maureen,
Yep.
because you can explain what that is. So as much as looking for funding, there's so much that comes with it.
Yeah. So basically, it's not just pitching for investment. What you have is an opportunity to pitch to a room of very technical people, people that have started businesses before, entrepreneurs, great mentors. So you have the opportunity to either get investment assistance, or you can get mentoring. So mentorship through the whole process from the ideation all the way through. You can get strategic partnership. So there's a lot of really great outcomes that can be achieved that go beyond investment. So that's why it's such a really great opportunity, because a lot of people might have an idea, but they don't know how to explore it properly. So one of the things we provide as a service in general is consultation. So you get the opportunity to consult with us, talk your project through. We see if it's feasible, viable, if the technology is suitable for your idea, whether it's scalable. So there's a world of knowledge and a world of people in all industries and areas that can actually help you grow your idea. So it's a fantastic opportunity on so many different levels. It's not one to be missed, that's for sure.
No, I mean, the money's obviously a big part of like pitching and trying to, generate some funds there for you to continue your idea. That's all well and good. But especially if you're new at the space, or it's your first project that you're founding, it's not just knowing where to place those funds, but what other hurdles are you going to see like come across that you're not aware of on the way? That's very, very important to know. Difference between somebody winning the lottery and blowing it all in one weekend, as opposed to somebody that would know to invest it and help nurture it, grow it, and things of that nature. Yeah. So, I mean, for longevity, it's more than just money that you need for a project. Yep. Absolutely.
So Charlie, with this, as Maury mentioned, we got the strategic partnership, the mentoring, and the funding, right? And with regards to, for example, from your experience, we have been working with few of the companies now who partnered with us. With your experience, what would you say to anyone who's going to pitch on the night? What is your take on that?
Well, as Maureen said earlier, you've got 3 minutes to pitch your idea and a maximum of 10 slides. So it's quite hard. People are finding it quite hard to fit that into such a crammed one. Like the last event they done awesome on that. But it's more telling the investors and everyone else your story of your project. Like, people aren't too interested, you're using React, or you've got this app, or you're in Unity. It's none of that. It's more, this is the problem, this is how the value add, and this is how we're going to use our platform to engage with users or automate or create something more transparent with blockchain space.
It's like the highlight reel, really showing the highlight and the heart of your project, like what you really want people to take away from that moment. Like, you've got 3 minutes, so you put your best foot forward, really sum it up, show us how it's going to change the world or change an industry, or how it's going to innovate some sort of industry.
Yeah, I think it's important to have, although like I admire these people for getting up and speaking that way anyway, because it's something that a lot of people aren't comfortable with. Condensing something that you're passionate about down to 3 minutes is always going to be, difficult for some people, because as we know, if you're passionate about something, you just want to talk about it for hours and hours and hours. Charlie. But it's important, like, and as Charlie touched on before, I've seen pictures where somebody will come out and say, right, so, with accommodation and such and such, and such, and it was like, hang on a minute, or they didn't even mention accommodation. It might have just been when booking rooms, and it's like, what industry is this? What is, like, a little tiny bit of backstory. It doesn't have to be huge. Obviously, you don't have that much time, but if you come out and explain what I guess industry or arena your project is in, what the problem is that you're solving, and or if there's not a problem, then what value are you adding, or vice versa, or both, is very important. But you do need to be concise, and as you said, like, people aren't going to be too interested at the time. I mean, that'll come further on about what it's coded in, technical things of that nature. If you've got some really good tech that makes it valuable, then fine, show it off.
Yes.
But there's probably no need to talk on that for, 2.5 minutes of a 3-minute presentation.
Yeah.
I guess with the whole like AI coming along now, like it's been always been there, but now it's been like retail, like everyone got like access to that AI part. And so what you're saying is, like, rather than talking about the AI itself, talk about how that technology will disrupt and bring value to people and to an industry, right?
Well, I think it's actually, what is it? The Steve Jobs, how he marketed
The
the
iPod.
release of the iPod. He didn't go technical. He just, instead of saying you've got one gig of storage to fit some music in, he said you can fit 10,000 songs into this device.
Yeah.
It made sense to everybody.
And that's
same
exactly
story come along, just in a different way.
Yeah, 100%, right? And that's important. I think it's a matter of like taking, as much as the investors, you have to take the community on their journey as well, right?
Yeah.
Because end of the day, what you're doing is we are giving a platform to pitch your idea or your startup or your company, right? Because they'll be in different stages. Not everyone has a product. There'll be an idea, like an ideation process, right? And then we can help you to take that from idea to all the way to the market fit. And yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, even at the very least, whether or not you walk away with investment, partnership, and it's just a platform to actually be able to share your project, your idea, be known. Like, a lot of people do attend, and a lot of people, we've got some really great supporters of Blockstars that are there every meetup, and they're all in different industries. And this is the best way to network. Get your name out there. Let your project be known. So no matter what, you don't walk away with nothing.
Yeah.
Because the experience is invaluable, and it's a great promotional tool for what you're doing.
Yeah, 100%. And also, you get to meet other like-minded, people in the space, like founders,
absolutely,
inventors, and investors. So I just want to also touch base a little bit on this one, which is our this pitch is a little bit different. For example, someone's like, "Oh, you guys are like Shark Tank," and I'm like, "Okay, we are not as brutal as Shark Tank."
Kevin O'Leary.
Right. And but you will be asked questions mainly not to see you fail and put you in comfortable situations. It's more like adding value. Have you thought of this? Have you thought of another angle of your business? It's more like bringing value to what your idea is about, rather than working out what's the valuation of the company or what is the revenue of the company. What is the the money is important, but that's the last that's the last thing that is important. But everything else is like, okay, why are you doing in the first place, right? We have this saying called, like, the doorbell works. Why do you want to put it on the blockchain? Because it works as it is, right? So what value are you bringing? What are you disrupting? That's important, and value add is the biggest thing ever. And then the market, with regards to the fund and making money business, that will come through if you're doing the right thing, if you're disrupting, and the money will always look after itself. So it's important for anyone who's pitching on the night, sort of take the investors and the community on the journey and explain how it's going to bring value. I think.
No, absolutely. I mean, at the very least, you'll come out with hopefully gaining some experience for one, right? Possibly some further knowledge. As we were discussing before, with like not getting into the technical weeds, guarantee it'll happen on the night, not during the actual pitch, but there will be other people there that if you showed off something cool, you're gonna have 10 people say, "Oh, like tell me all about it."
Yeah, do you know what I love? I was just going to add to what you guys were saying. What I really loved about last time was you had 4 projects showcasing their project, their work with a room of people. We had the investors at the front of the room, but afterwards, because they got funding for our investors, I could not believe the amount of people that lined up to talk to them individually that were all also interested in investing in their project. So it's not like, don't just look at the investors that are there giving feedback on the project. The room is full of people that you would not be aware of, what industry they're in. We've got VCs that come. We've got people that are looking to invest. There's so many people looking to support you. If you have a good idea and project and people are going to get behind you, you will be so surprised the people that come out of the shadows and want to know more, work more, and at the same time, you have no idea how many people you are inspiring in the room to do something great or to plant that seed or a new idea. So it's really great to see, I mean, we had some great projects. Like I love that last time we had a charity project. There's so many people doing so many great things. And when you talk about your idea, it gives people permission to, be unapologetically true to the things that they want to go after as well.
You'll get people come in, pitch, talk about an idea that somebody else, it might speak to their core, at which point, they're going to be more than willing to help. I know I would, I'm not, one of the investors, not all about the money, but if somebody came in with a good idea that I went, look, that's just brilliant. I personally would be willing to help in any way I could.
Yeah,
100%. It's
exactly.
just the way it is.
Why not, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions or statements. So are they like their own of ChatGPT is to get it? So it's like I believe what you're saying is like the AI at the moment
it's not as open
as it is, and it's fine. Like it's like the open AI is not open anymore. So open AI initiative was started. Elon Musk was heavily initially involved in the open AI because he wanted to make AI open to everyone. Right. And then in that process, what happened was it was not becoming open, and Elon want to lead the open AI team, but they didn't agree, so he stepped out of it.
There was certain conflicts of interest and
because of
businesses that he was in, and
that's right. So then he stepped out, and then obviously Microsoft invested heavily, and now it became a profit making.
It's a commercial. It's been commercialized,
which Ellen's actually tweeted about a few days ago. Should be illegal that I donated to a non-for-profit that then turns into for-profit.
For-profit.
It's like, it's not working yet, so we're non-for-profit. Oh, it works. All right, we're going to start charging people.
Do you know, I actually agree with that. That should be, or he should get his money back at the very least. If you've turned from non-for-profit, there's laws around these things, surely.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out.
I think their current billing model is based on a number of tokens per thing. Maybe they could just, there goes $90 million worth of access to it.
Yeah, I mean, I think they had this a process of and again, Sam Altman, right? He's the CEO, so he has no what do you call shares or anything like that in OpenAI. So it's a little bit different. So he's saying, okay, look, I got enough money, but I don't want any shares in this business. So he doesn't have, he's being paid as a employee than as a founder or a partner of the business. So it's quite interesting how that all work compared. Normally it's the person who's heading it have got the shares,
the lion's share.
Well, they create the shares, create the tokens, same model. There's actually a which I've been meaning to watch it. I haven't had much time lately, but there's Lex Friedman has got him on his podcast. So if anyone's interested, check out Lex Friedman. it'll be one of the latest videos, and he's on there. And I got into the first 5-10 minutes, and how everyone called him crazy, and him and his mates during the AI, and all these professors were like, "What? These guys are a joke, blah blah blah." And then now it works; no one says it. So
Charlie will share that link in the chat.
I'll share that link in the chat. Yeah.
So the question is, ChatGPT is gated. So what is your take? If you take Maureen, what is your take on ChatGPT or being AI? Should it be open or should it be gated? Or some in the middle?
Look, I find it really interesting because if I recall, it was Elon that was, constantly for years talking about how dangerous AI was, and
That's right.
how it's just interesting to see the narrative flip a little bit. So I think when it says should it be gated, I feel like this technology, everyone should be allowed to use it, but I can understand now that they can see just how many people are using it, that it's very tempting to want to profit from it. And as usual, it's always the people that have money can make money or can have access to such tools. So I feel like I don't know. I have really mixed feelings about this because if I've been watching a lot of stuff online lately, especially in America, a lot of schools are showing that this thing went up recently and a lecturer put it on the screen where he just had a really big end of year assessment and he showed that every single student cheated. Like they all submitted stuff that was done through chat GPT and AI and stuff.
It's not plagiarized.
But I don't know. I think that it should be used as a tool, but I feel like maybe, the lines are getting blurred. I feel like students now, are they going to learn?
Yeah, there still needs to be a learning process.
Like it's all right for us adults that have been in the industry and we use it as a tool, but now it really is for people that have not learnt and don't know the process.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, like whether you're using it for whatever case, is you need to know those fundamentals to know whether it's giving you the right information or the wrong information. It's important to learn properly. I would say learn properly. Hey, the AI can probably teach you too if you ask it enough questions. But not just go out and give it a question and whatever answer it gives you, copy and paste. But I've got a feeling this question is more for gated and censored of the AI, where it's not open, it's restricted. And there's some things you ask it and it's like, oh, sorry, that is against my policy.
Like
where
you can't be sexist and stuff.
all sorts of things. There's all sorts of restrictions that they've put in place for reasons which I don't know. It's a hard one because if you leave it open, it's dangerous for kids jumping on there and using it. It's dangerous for many of reasons. But the thing I'm more worried about is there's no legislation around AI.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If I'm a AI developer, I can get it to program weapon systems, or I can use it for a lot of things that really should have legislation surrounding that. But I think politicians around the world are just catching up to TikTok. So
I think the important differentiation you need to make is between free and open. Okay, something can be free to use without actually being open, like as in like open source, where you can take it, modify it, do as you wish with it, as opposed to having access to something that's free. By providing free access, which is currently sort of what's happening,
free,
they can at least limit the uses to somewhat censor it because it has the capability to be, for want of a better word, weaponized so easily. I think it's important that we take careful steps until things like legislation and things like that.
Well, the dangerous thing is like, have you guys seen I believe it's a Midjourney image of the Pope?
No, I haven't.
He's wearing the puffy jacket.
Oh, yeah, I saw that actually. I thought he was wearing it.
No, that was AI generated. See, and that's going to be coming into the dangers. And we're already getting into AI video where
you can't tell the difference.
You could manipulate things with social media, AI videos, AI
propaganda.
images. Like it's going to be hard. Like we're technical because he's very technical,
Not.
and he did not know that was an AI. He thought the Pope come out in his puffy swagger. Like,
So maybe it's time to change.
all the ones where Trump's getting
arrested.
chased by the police
Yeah.
and arrested, and it's going to be hard. The longer this is only just starting,
Yeah,
but the
now
longer
you
this
can't
goes on, the harder it's going to be to detect and know right from wrong. Like as you say with the algorithms, Craig.
Yeah.
Going down the wrong algorithms wrong. Imagine going down the wrong AI fake news
That's the problem. Is,
video.
if you can't tell what's real and what isn't, and not only will ChatGPT and other AIs not answer all questions, as we were discussing, but will quite often get things wrong. How do you know what's true and what isn't?
You can't even believe what you see.
That on top of people not learning, as we were discussing a moment ago, so they don't know any better, they just take it as gospel.
Yeah,
and that's a very big concern.
That's the problem. It answers it with such confidence.
Yeah.
You know, you ask it a question. I have sat there and played with it.
It really does.
Yeah, its execution is perfect. Yes, and it's given it like a definitive answer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no way. I look it up, completely wrong, but I was like, it almost got me.
I think it was for ChatGPT 3 where the guy gave the example where he asked it a simple math problem. And might have been like, what is 5 plus 7? Or 5 plus 2, and it said 7. And he said, no, my wife said that it's 8. He's like, no, your wife must be mistaken. It responded back with whatever else. He went, no, well, that's not possible because my wife is never wrong. At which point it said, oh, well, I'm sorry, I must have made a mistake. 5 plus 2 must be 8.
Yeah.
And it completely backed out of its initial statement when it was pushed, which is just bizarre.
And there's the one where Mike's mum has 4 kids. 3 kids are named Cozzy, Craig, Maureen. What's the name of her 4th kid? And it couldn't register it. The 4th kid's Mike because Mike's mum. Yeah. And it just didn't quite understand. And you try getting ChatGPT. I haven't tried ChatGPT 4, but in this instance, but ChatGPT 3 when I was playing around, tell me some jokes. They were not funny. Like comedians are safe. Comedians are safe. But on that question, what I meant about gated is the program.
I think we just spoke about that.
So that covers that.
Covers that.
Are you pro or against implants? So I would say that's the implants Elon Musk is designing.
Yeah, Neuralink.
That's a hard one. I'd like to be late to the party of that. I'd love to go through all the trial phases. But I think for somebody that hasn't got movement in their legs or is, Parkinson's, amnesia, that thing, medical reasons, that could be very powerful. But if it gets hacked,
that's a different story, right?
You don't know. So
see, the thing with technology is that a lot of people invented things for the right reasons and they invented things to help humanity. But when you realize that almost anything can be weaponized, it makes you realize when you start playing with this stuff, the opportunity for people to do the wrong thing with it starts becoming really serious. Like even drones, they were once designed, for photography stuff. Now they're weaponized. Now that you have like drones that shoot weapons, now they can kill people without even being seen. So everything has the possibility to be weaponized. And there's a question saying, will AI be more destructive than humanity would though? It's always a human leading it.
That's right.
All right. So anything can be disruptive. And with tools like this, anything can be weaponized.
It's a bigger bomb.
Yeah.
Is what it
it's
is.
just easier to weaponize.
People have been throwing rocks at each other since time began.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And with what you were saying, Maureen, about weaponizing and talking about the implants, it just come to my head. Order 66. Craig, Star Wars.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look, it's my answer was same as Charlie's. It depends on which part, which stage of your life that you're going through. Then you will find, like, if you are paralyzed and if you say, okay, look, I can have this neuro implant and bypass that nerve and feed it, 100%. Who wouldn't? Right?
So it's the use case.
Exactly. It depends on whether now, and also the other part is like superhumanness, right?
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was going to say. So
That's another other part of it.
Super memory.
I
Yes.
understand what you're saying. So if then somebody had, let's just take this 3 degrees further, instant like memory recall with massive, like eidetic type memory that could be stored in it, immediate access to information on the internet that they hadn't been exposed to previously, and went like, oh, but this is going to help me in my everyday life and my job. Would you be okay with them getting that implant without them having an impairment? It was just going to take them to the next level.
I think that would be something the medical, like exactly for now. For example, if you go to like plastic surgery or anything like that, they say, okay, is it health related or is it not? I mean, there's always like something there, so there will be something, but then people always find a way around.
You don't have to have a deviated septum to go and get a nose job.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that's where the line
will be exactly.
Which is why legislation around and legislation and stuff is very, very important for this to try and protect people.
I feel like I studied this 2 years ago, and they have a lot of this stuff came about because the military has done extensive work behind closed doors, working with big corporate companies designing this stuff to have super soldiers, enhanced human features, all of this stuff. So they already have the end goal to have, soldiers that don't need to sleep. They can jump, they can run, they can do all of this faster. It's all about the enhancement of human, so much so that we have had to redefine what it means to be human now, because they have played with this technology so much that the lines have now become blurred.
The end of my sentence was that the legislation is very important, but it's not going to, it doesn't protect anyone. It's a deterrent. It's not a protectant. And even in that case, it's only deterring or protecting the general populace from the general populace, not from the governments themselves.
That's right. And corporations, they seem to have free reign to do as they please.
Yeah. I think, to your question, Craig, is it's up to the person. If they want to put that implant in and have memory and access to the internet at all times, depending on whether it's safe or not, there's trial periods. With any medication, there's trial periods now where people trial medications on humans to test. So there's going to be that. And I think you got to leave it up to the person. If they want to do that, that's up to them. I personally would probably wait 10 years and make sure all the glitches are out of the system. But it's like, remember watching Joe Rogan years ago with Elon Musk, and we're pretty much cyborgs now. Like if you think about your phone, like there's never been a time in history, like in the power of our hands, where we can access memories from 10 years ago. 20 years ago by having images on our phone, by having text. We've never been able to access that much information, and it's pretty much our phones turn us into they've expanded our memory and given us an abundant form of information. So not in the brain, but in the hand.
And I'm going to bring this back to AI.
Sorry.
So it's a good session.
I had a lot more to say.
I know, right? So I want to bring that to the AI side of things, and so with regards to chat, that now we're talking about ChatGPT 5, right? So now what this thing is like, it's not about how much data we have; it's about how you use that data, right? So that's important now, because that's where the power really comes from, how you use that data. So I think more and more companies, more and more individuals will be going down the AI part. I mean, this was the almost like, oh, I wish I could do this, but before it was if else, but now with this, I think they're going to have a lot more access. I think when you say a lot more, I think this is going to be now more general people, like anyone now access this one, right? Before it was only companies, IT tech people who would do it, and people like, oh, I don't like AI, but always you used AI for Google Maps, your Siri, for your Alexa, for all of that. It's all AI. Autocorrect. That's exactly. So they call big data and all that stuff, but now it's all AI. So thank you for those questions, and it was really good. I don't know about you guys. It's getting really warm in here. So I'm just thinking we'll keep it short, and then let's before we just close, let's talk about so when is the event happening? So event's happening next Tuesday. 4th of April. We had it on our website. So if you go to the website, which is blockstars.com.au, the first rotator you'll see, it will explain the innovations night in April. And once you click through to it, there are two links. One to RSVP to attend the event, and there's another one to submit your pitch. Now there's a countdown, and the countdown is to countdown for the submission of the pitch. So the pitches should be received by us by the Friday midnight.
Yep.
And that will give us time to vet it, go through it, and then get in contact with anyone who submitted the pitches. And so one of the things, like, a couple of people asked a question like, oh, can I attend? Can I bring someone else? And we, of course,
Yeah.
right?
The more the merrier.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think that's the things, right? We had to share this knowledge with as many people as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. So cut off the pictures, 12
Yep.
midnight on Friday. Submit through the website. The event itself is on Tuesday.
Yep, at the Duke's Harbour.
Duke's Harbour.
It is warm in
It is losing a bit of
At the-
oxygen here, so
At the island in Surfers Paradise. That's just heating up, guys. Come on, I was born in New Zealand. What are you talking about?
Doors open 5:30.
Yep.
What time are we starting the pictures?
the pitches will start from 7 o'clock
Yep.
onwards.
Pizza prior.
Yeah. Prior to that, we
Networking
have
afterwards.
100%. So it's important. So once you arrive, you're gonna get some time for time to catch up with everyone who's there, get some food in your belly,
Yep.
get some beverages, and then we go to the pitches. And after the pitches, then there'll be some time to network as well. And then pretty much we finish around about 9:30 ish. Yeah.
Ish.
That's
Yeah.
the plan,
Yeah.
right? That's a plan, but it's always we always say that. But then you always got few people hanging around and discussing their ideas and how we can help as well. So that's what we're going to discuss. And actually, I just want to also mention a couple of people asked me, so what do you guys really do? Like Blockstars. What do you guys really do? Because they see like a lot of videos, a lot of content out there, but it's never there is no call to action. There's no one say like, okay, now click here to receive this case study or submit this to there's nothing like that. So people are like, so what does Blockstars do? Are you guys in the metaverse?
We're the worst salesmen ever, aren't we?
That's what I keep on saying, right? So Craig, what do we really do?
We help people
Mhm.
in the Web3 community, those that are interested in learning or applying blockchain to existing projects, solutions, businesses.
Mhm.
It's really as simple as that.
Yeah.
Like, whatever we can is really the right answer, I
Okay,
guess.
so what if I have an idea,
Right.
right? I don't know whether it's blockchain, but I read about something about NFTs,
Mhm.
and I think my idea is going to solve it.
Is it a doorbell?
Not yet,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
And this is something that Blockstars can help me.
So I would suggest you contact us,
Yeah.
and we will organise for you to sit down with the smartest people that I know
Yeah.
to go through what it is that you're interested in doing,
Mhm.
see if it's got an application, what you have thought of, what you haven't, that type of stuff, and take it from there.
Okay. So do I have to have my idea all nutted out, know exactly what it is
No,
before I
not
come
at
and see you?
Nope, not at all.
Yeah.
Not the slightest.
Okay. So Charlie.
I'm happy if somebody come along and
Yep.
said, like, right, I drive one of those little Mr. Whippy vans.
Mm-hmm.
Ice cream.
How can I use, ice cream.
Ice cream.
Well, gelato,
Yeah.
whatever. How can I use blockchain?
Yeah.
I love that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Okay.
Nothing more fun
Yeah.
than trying to come up with use cases for it.
Yeah. And it becomes a bit of a what you call exploratory
Yeah.
session.
Yeah.
Yeah. A bit of to finding out. So Charlie, so with regards to tech and things like that, right? Some people say, okay, are you guys Ethereum, or are you guys Solana, or are you guys flow based company? So what is this? Because I might have a project that is developed. Maybe it's developed on Solana, right? And what does Blockstars do?
Okay, I'll come into both questions and touch bases. Blockstars, we consult First consultation's free, so it doesn't cost you anything. You can come to the office, jump on the TV, have a chat, meet each other, get our head around your idea. If you've got any documents, send it through, and then we'll come into a workshop as such if we've got all the questions answered from there. Then we also develop, whether you want a website developed, an app developed, anything to integrate with blockchain, whether it be EVM based, which is Ethereum, Polygon, BNB, you name it, we'll develop it. If it's flow based, we'll develop on that. If it's Solana based, we'll develop on that. If it's any other blockchain, we'll develop on it. We're happy to do a bit of R&D. So if we haven't done it before, we will come and tell you like, hey, we haven't done it before, but we know this information. All our developers and ourselves do a lot of research within the blockchain to just see we're technology diagnostic as such. So it doesn't matter what it is. The best way to solve a problem and the best thing for your project, we'll do it. And that's our development side. And then on the other side is we also audit. So we audit smart contracts for other companies or other projects. And then we've also got forensics. So if your money's been stolen or money's missing, we will be able to investigate that for you with our investigation team.
It's on chain.
And that's just off the top of my head. We also play around with AI within our development team as well, and machine learning, and also games. So which integrate all into blockchain, or maybe parts of it. One part's blockchain, the other part's AI, or it's a game in itself, or you name it, we do it.
All right, thank you. So Maureen, so I got this project, right? And I just download those pictures from a website and I NFT'd them, and I want
question.
So my thing is, if I come to Blockstars and I say like, oh, I got these NFTs that I converted from a website, they are not owned by me, what would Blockstars say?
No, because we're not going to prison with you. Copyright laws still exist. Obviously, there's no cheat code here, and we don't help people do the wrong thing. The law is still the law, whether it's on blockchain or in any other industry. Copyright still exists. Intellectual property still exists. All of that stuff is taken into account when you come to us with a project. So we can help direct you in the right way. To add to Charlie's answer, the better question would be to ask, what don't we do at this stage? I think like it's a pretty big spread. Yeah, that's true. It's got to be Web3.
Yeah,
and that's our hot take. Literally.
It's a hot topic today. Come up with something for a hot.
It is hot in here, guys. Come on, Craig. You've got the best.
You got the best one.
No, I'm gonna faint. Too hot.
Alrighty. On that note, guys, thank you so much. And sorry we had to cut this podcast short, but we thought we'll stick to the weekly podcast and bring you some value. And we hope we brought that value to you guys. And one of these other things, like last thing but not least, is that we will definitely would love to have you at our pitch night happening on the 4th of April on Tuesday. So yeah, and we will see you there. On that note, bye from us.
Thanks,
See you
guys.
guys.
See you guys.
Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place.
Subscribe.